Hello, my friends. Welcome in. It's the end of year 5 of the experiment. Have we lost anybody? Has Locke taken another assistant manager job? Did Pekka survive with whatever the name of that club is? Skuftenbins. Did he survive with Skuftenbins? What happened with Mateus and ATP? Did Spaceman Extreme win the league again? Let's go find out. Oh no, Pekka's sacked. Oh, I got sacked. Okay, got sacked at the end of the year because they are a calendar year season until November 2022. Did they get relegated? Is that what happened? Yes. So they got relegated to a division that Football Manager does not have loaded into the game. And what's also not good is that means Pekka has not been picked up in the first, 6 months, 7 months of the next season, right? Oh no. Oh no. And we can't even see, resign because they get relegated to a league that we don't have. We can't even see, I don't think. No, we can. 19% win ratio. Finished 14th. 15, 21, and 42. 14th is straight down relegation. How close was it? This is what we feared, right? They made a run the previous season. Okay, yeah, 7 points off the playoff spot. 3, 9, and 14. Negative 21 goal differential. Probably justified. Versus like here, right? They had 21 points, but because of they'd made a run, right? Going back here, this run saved them last time. And this time, that run did not happen. They did win a game at the end. I mean, that's their first win since April. So they went 5 months without a win. But they got a win. It just wasn't enough. They needed, with 7 points, they needed to, turn all 4 of those around, right? Like, 7 more points. So that get a draw there, that'd be a point. 1, 2. No, they'd have to have won all 3 of those other games in September to survive. So does that mean Pekka is done? Will someone else pick him up? Like, he's only got a national A. That's the thing that's concerning. Now, he has a preference to be a manager in his next role, so, like, he's got a short-term plan. He wants to keep on, but will someone keep on with him? We'll find out. Mateus is with CEC. He's not with ATP. And I know you guys are telling me in the comments what ATP and CEC is, but he's moved. Why? Why did he move? Let's see about that, my friends. So he was on 5.75K a week. His contract, I want to say, was through the end of 2022. So he's only got a 1-year deal, theoretically, unless someone poached him before then. And he's gone up to 6.5K. So he's making better money. When did he sign the contract? At the end of the season. So it was right before his contract expired. So does that mean ATP was not gonna... Okay, let's see. Oh, this is interesting. Left of his own accord. Finished 9th, you could see. Won the Brazilian Cup. That's something, right? But finished 9th. I can't remember where they were expected to be. Let's go see what's going on here. That's a pretty decent finish, I think. It would help if I could remember what the season preview said last season. This season, let's just look for ATP. They're expected 9th. I think they were in... I don't remember. You're going to remember because you can go back and watch the episode. I could do that too. But I think it was somewhere in here. Nautico has survived without him. So 25-1 odds to finish 9th. Now he's with CEC and he's 5-1 odds to finish 4th. So an improvement, you could say. So currently in 2nd. Hello. Now, right? It's pretty tight, but they're almost, you could say it's tight for the top spot too. So got a 4-point gap between 4th, 5th, and 6th. A 5-point gap to 7th and 8th. So it's not like, I mean, they're doing well. I'm not saying they're not doing well, but it's not, and these teams have games in hands. That's the other thing. So they could go down a little bit, but they're above ninth, right? Ninth is 15 points. Even with a game in hand, it'd be 18 points. So doing better there. Last season, they finished 5th on 70 points. Okay, right. Let's go back and look, though. I just want to see. Oh, and they're currently in 17th. Okay. Yeah, they're really missing him. Yeah. That's interesting. Maybe he didn't want to sign a new contract, or I'm just kind of curious why it went towards the end. Maybe, and like they, you know what I'm saying? Like, he went all the way to the end of the contract without signing a new deal. So is that because they weren't going to offer a new deal, or because he wasn't interested and he was like, just go somewhere else? Lots of players leaving on free. Oh, this is release players. Yeah, I was looking at that. Okay, so again, I don't understand why there's no. This is blank. That nothing makes sense. That was last season. Okay, right. So we recorded before this. So they bought Ruan for $3.9 million from Orlando City, doing some business. I mean, again, it's kind of hard to tell without seeing the whole context of the team. And then $275K towards the end of the season, which is kind of weird. Didn't really sell a bunch. They invest a lot of money. And this season, wait. Okay, they spent 11.75 and 12.25 million this season. This is not his doing. I'm just like they're still. That's a lot of signings, right? Like they have ramped up. It feels like in terms of the $1 million deals, and then some $500,000. Interesting. And they sold 9.25, which is also kind of curious. And they loaned out a bunch of players. I'm just kind of curious what happened there. That's interesting. All right, so he comes in December. Okay, I'm just looking to make sure there's nobody at the end of December. Nothing happened after that. Okay, so coming into the season, RB Leipzig, 25.5 million, rising to 32.5, 53 million, selling 29 million. Okay, all right. Roy, is this Casero? Sorry. 13 million from SPO, 13.25 from Corinthians, right? That's right. That's some big spending, people, but they also sold 29 million. Who's the biggest one? This one here? Yeah, 10.5 million to Flamengo. I think as people were telling me, it's Flamengo, not Flamingo. 9.25 to SEP. 3.3 to Tigres. That's in Mexico, right? To the Sounders. I mean, still though, that's what, a net spend of 24 million. Let's look at this guy. Why do we have the attributes now? I'm very confused. 16, 15, 15. Oh, looks a gem. Okay, so it comes in, let's just see. Comes in 21 starts, 3 subs, 7 goals, 2 assists on a 7.18. Bossing it, my friends. Not a huge profit for Leipzig. Okay, so striker or right winger-ish, potentially. Oh, gotta love the hair. That's just delicious. That's delicious hair in my book. 31 years old though. 5'10" center back, or is he a right back? Which one is it? Let's go look at his crossing. Crossing is a 9, dribbling is a 6. Marking, heading looks to be a center back. Experienced center back. 5'10", huh? Interesting. And how's he done? A 7.01. Shows how much I know. 22 starts, no subs, 3 assists, doing well. Stefan Medina. Okay, so that's enough of looking at there. I just think that's interesting. You can see he's won 74% of his games here. 26-6-3. Zoinks won the Brazilian Minas Gerais State Championship champions. Let's go look at ATP to see what he ended up with from a record standpoint with them. 50%. 46, 19, and 27. You would think winning the Brazilian Cup would be enough to get him a contract. So again, I'm really curious if he just was not interested or if they weren't interested. But I mean, it looks like he's moved up in the world, right? Like he Currently second, expected to finish 5th versus expecting to finish 9th and currently 17th. So progress, but I don't know. I think that's fascinating. Well, did Van Loos get relegated? It wasn't looking very good, right? It looks a decent manager. It doesn't say when he left. That's interesting. So what happened to Van Loos? No. Oh, he just got the sack, right? Or did he leave of his own accord? Sacked. Finally sacked on April 15th. That's tax day in the U.S. 59, 34, and 70 in his career. 36% win ratio. Not the best. But again, it's kind of hard to tell. You know, is that really his fault, or is it just the situation with the club, right? So finished 10th in the preliminary phase, so goes in the relegation, 10 points off. So they've dropped, right? So the previous season, they were 5 points off. Previous season, they were 3 points off. Previous season, they were 6 points off. So, like, okay, so you have a bad run, you're 10 points off. So you're still in the relegation stage. It doesn't really matter, right? Like, you're still in the relegation stage. But then in the relegation stage, finishing 2 points off of straight relegation. Like, that's not a playoff. That's you're going down, right? So in previous seasons, that's also kind of a drop, right? So previous seasons, oh, it's going to make me do this every time. That's amazing. You know, finished 5 points clear of the drop. The season previous to that, finished a whole bunch of points, right? 19 points clear of the drop. So from that standpoint, you kind of go like, yeah, I kind of get it. Like, we got to make a change because we're slipping back down. We're going to fall back down into this phase, and we don't want to do that. Although you could argue that's kind of what they've done in their history, so maybe they need to invest a little bit. Didn't bring in any players last season. Had a player leave on a free. Kind of just unfortunate, really. Kind of just unfortunate. April 15th. Yeah, that was a loss. So I wonder if they gave him like an ultimatum, like you have to win this many games. And then new manager bounce, you could argue save them from getting relegated. So, you know, the board goes, hey, I guess this is the preliminary stage. This is the first relegation stage game. We're about, like, we got to turn this thing around. We haven't won a game, I mean, since October, but, you know, there's a whole break in there in between too, so that's kind of unfair. But they do, you know, new manager bounce come back in. That being said, though, I think he still has plans to be a manager. I think he can get picked up by somebody still studying for a Continental Pro. So that's positive, right? What do you guys think? Do you think Jakob will get picked up by somebody? All right, Spaceman Extreme. Okay, same contract because he was up. I guess he had already signed a long-term deal. 14, 16, 10, 10, 8. I feel like that's improved. 14 on what? Man management? Let me look at our spreadsheet here. Again, Eduardo Valente in the Discord has updated the spreadsheet with all the attributes. It's amazing. His man management has gone up 1. Motivating has gone up 2. And this part has stayed the same. 10, 10, and 8. Interesting. Technical, still 13. Tactical has gone up 2 from a 10. That's good. Mental has gone up 2 from an 8. That's good. And everything else I think is the same. So what happened? Let's go find out. Okay, didn't win the league, finished 5th. I think they were in the running for that. This is the problem where I'm not recording these like back to back to back to back because I like getting the comments, and obviously Eduardo is doing a great job with this spreadsheet, really helps out. And I really wish I could go back and look at previous season previews. But I want to say they were expected 4th, but I could be wrong. Expected 4th again this season. But, you know, that's not a terrible result, is it? We'll update his stats here. Whoa. 52% win ratio, 75, 28, and 41. They won the Super Cup. Okay. That was right after our episode. Has he brought in anybody interesting after our episode? This is all after the episode last time. 600K, 475. Okay, 1.7 million, but they sold $1 million, so they're balancing their books. They spent $1 million the year before, 3.9 million the year before that. So it looks to be more balanced spending. They've got some free action here. Freiburg's reserve team, interesting. So I'm not going to look at all those, but I just like to see 1.7 million versus 1 million. So they're balancing it out a bit. Let's go see how close it was. What? Championship group. Okay, there it is. There it is. So, yeah. So that's interesting though, because that says in the the first 30 games, in 7th, equal on points was 6th, pretty tight, but that was enough to get them into the championship group, where they then in the last 7 games did well. Right, they would have been below that, and then they have risen up to finish on 55 points. So, and then 1 point off 4. So, not from the board standpoint, not a big deal. It's kind of like you're not on 96 points. Holy cow, 36-1 for Legia Warsaw. Yeah, they got mad. They got really mad that they didn't win it again to break the streak here. I'm just kind of curious, did they get a new manager? No, same manager. Maybe that name means something to you. It doesn't mean anything to me. But that's interesting to me that, like, that's a big swing. The previous season, they had 77 points. Piast had 80. They got 96 points. Piast has 55. 96 points. Is the most points a club has won the league with, right? Like, that's a crazy amount of points. Wow. I'm kind of like, I'm blown away by that. So we'll have to see. Well, I mean, he's in the last year of a deal. So are they going to extend him? You would think. Let's look, competitions. That's the first time they've ever won the league. I mean, I know they won it in real life, right? Thank you, Mike, in the comments. But that's the first time they won the league. You'd think you wouldn't let that guy walk, right? I wouldn't let that guy walk. That's just me, though. Oh, he did have a job. Oh, I could tell when I clicked on his name he didn't have a job, and I was like, oh. But he did go to Eastern. So at least he's still kicking, like he's still trying. But what happened? What happened, my friends? Left again. What is the deal? They were runners up. Okay, they may have won the league in previous seasons, but they finished 4th the season after that. So you would think, runner up is an improvement, but why did he leave? Or did they just say, like, yeah, we're gonna let your contract run out? Oh, and they only lost it by a point. Oh, that hurts. That hurts. Did they have any transfers? Oh, they had some transfers, my friends. 5.5K worth. Look at all the players he brought in. Wow, that is a bunch. That is a bunch, my friends. Let's look at this one from Fuli. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Amazing. 6 heading, 9 marking, 10 tackling. Legendary attributes there, my friends. From Brazil. Finding his way to the Hong Kong League. That's all right. In previous season, they sold a player for 18 points. I'm just looking, like, is that the biggest investment? Oh, no. In 2019, they dropped 97 grand. And then the coming seasons, the most they spend is 5.5. That's strange. Well, I mean, okay, let's look. We could show his just for record keeping, right? They were the senior challenge shield winners, and the Hong Kong Community Cup winners. That would also have been him. 21-5-5, 67% win ratio. That's a pretty, that's all right if you ask me. That's all right if you ask me, but not enough for him or them. Who knows? Because we didn't even get to see the contract, right? Because it happened. He signed after last episode, and he left before this episode, so we don't get to see, was it a 1-year deal or what? But man, come on, Locke, stick with us, man. I'm surprised Andrew Clooney hasn't disappeared yet. I think that happens eventually. That's unfortunate. Really, it really is. He knows, like, because Andrew had me put some different languages in. So, like, he knows, I think, English and German or something like that. I think it was Andrew. Things are going well in Canada, eh? I don't know. Last but not least, Derek Hansen is still with Siena. Okay, right. He was on 4.6Ks up to 5K. His contract was about to expire. So they must have extended. Let's look. Yeah, signed a new deal in January. Okay, my phone is blowing up here. I apologize. So he signed a new deal, essentially an 18-month or a 1-year extension, but 18-month extension from the time the contract is signed. Right. Promoted through the playoffs. Wow, look at that run. And then, again, I'm guessing this is financial difficulties or something like that. And then almost, they were in the playoffs before and not able to get it done and kind of slipped. And then Derek Hansen comes in and takes them to glory. 37-11, 62% win ratio, finished second and promoted. As previously noted, that rhymed, my friends. Let's look here. Made it to the Serie C Cup quarterfinal and lost to the Juventus under-23s on penalties. I don't know if that's a good or bad result. Finished strong, though. Goodness. Okay. Really strong throughout the season, right? Like, a little iffy here, but then had a really good October, aside from the one loss. But that's what, 1, 2, 3, 4 league wins and a 4-1 and 1. And then had, what is this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games without a loss, and then wrapped up the season, with a win, and then the playoffs. Beat Alto Adige in the playoff quarterfinals, and then beat Pro Vercelli in the playoffs, and then on penalties, beat his old club. I just saw it. You're probably sitting, or maybe you can't because it's behind my head. I don't have my recording up over here. Yeah, this is, they beat, so you didn't see it before I did. Beat Ternana in the playoffs, the playoff final, on penalties. That's amazing. Okay, Siri, I'm going to go down to, C/A is where they were. Yes? I just saw that all up and down that. C/A. Okay. Oh, no, okay, because it's the playoffs. I was thinking the top 2 spots. I just saw it was in the playoffs. 72 points. So 2 points clear. That, maybe that changes, but, there's so many teams. Does it really change, right? Okay, so now in Serie B, season preview. Okay, not 1,000 to 1 odds. 17th, though. Not great, but not, close enough where you might have a chance. Why is that not highlighted? Because it looks like the bottom 4 go down. Anybody in the comments know why the 4th one wouldn't automatically, or is that a playoff thing? I don't know. Okay. All right. So you're saying there's a chance. It's going to be tight, I think. But would that be terrible if, hey, we got up here and then we went down and then, maybe you make another push? Again, it doesn't show the totals. I don't know why. Does this happen on your saves? Have you played in Italy? Is there no total? I'm very confused. But didn't buy any players. Sold a couple players. No. That's really interesting to me. All right, my friends. All right. Let's go all the way back here. That's where we sit. Do you think Pekka gets another shot and Jakob gets another shot? And Locke, will he find a long-term gig? That's what I'm hoping that Derek Hansen, if they got relegated, that wouldn't be the end at Siena. But even if it was, I think he's proven to be a good manager. So that's where my interest lies for next episode. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you so much for your support on this series and all the other series on the channel. hit that like button. We'll see you next time at the end of year 6.